Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to explore one of the greatest mysteries in Indian history. A city that has been described in ancient scriptures for thousands of years, a city believed to have been ruled by Lord Krishna, a city that according to tradition disappeared beneath the sea. Its name is Dwarka. Even today, people visit Dwarka with faith in their hearts. For many, it is one of the holiest places in India. But beyond faith, there is another question that has fascinated historians, archaeologists, and researchers for decades. Did a great ancient city really exist beneath the water of the Arabian Sea? And if it did, could any part of it still be there today? That is exactly what we are going to explore in this documentary. As always, this video is not meant to prove or disprove anyone's belief. Our goal is simply to understand what ancient text describes, what history tells us, what archaeologists have discovered, and what questions still remain unanswered. So let's begin. To understand Dwarka, we first need to travel back to ancient Mathura. According to the Mahabharata, the Bhagavata Purana, and several other ancient Indian texts, Lord Krishna was born in Mathura during a time of political conflict. After defeating King Kamsa, peace returned to the kingdom for only a short period. Soon, another powerful ruler entered the story. His name was Jarasandha. He was the king of Magadha and, according to the Mahabharata, also Kamsa's father-in-law. After Kamsa's death, Jarasandha repeatedly attacked Mathura to seek revenge. Ancient texts describe multiple inventions. Whether every number mentioned in the scriptures is historical or symbolic is something scholars continue to discuss. But the central idea remains the same. Mathura was becoming increasingly unsafe. Krishna faced a difficult decision. He could continue fighting, or he could protect his people by moving them to a safer place. According to tradition, Krishna chose the second option. It was not an act of fear, it was a decision made to avoid unnecessary loss of life. This decision eventually led to the creation of one of the most famous cities in Indian tradition, Dwarka. Ancient texts describe Krishna selecting the western coast of present day Gujarat for the new settlement. The location was naturally protected by the Arabian Sea. According to the Bhagavata Purana, Krishna requested land from the sea god who agreed to provide space for the new city. Like many descriptions in ancient scriptures, this account carries religious significance. Whether understood literally or symbolically depends on one's personal beliefs. The texts then describe Vishwakarma, the divine architect, building an extraordinary city. Wide roads, beautiful gardens, grand places, strong fortifications, large gateways, busy markets, temples, residential areas, and an impressive harbour connected to the sea. The name Dwarka itself is often interpreted as the city of gates. It was described as one of the most prosperous cities of its time. Ancient literature presents Dwarka not only as a royal capital but also a thriving center of trade. Ships are believed to have connected the city with distant regions across the Arabian Sea. This idea is especially interesting because historians know that maritime trade existed along India's western coast for thousands of years. Long before modern ships crossed these waters, merchants were already sailing between India and distant civilizations. Ports along the Gujarat coast played an important role in that network. Whether the Dwarka described in scriptures was exactly the same as those trading ports is still a matter of research. But the connection between Gujarat and ancient maritime trade is well supported by historical evidence. According to tradition, the Yadava kingdom flourished in Dwarka for many years. The city became known for prosperity, culture, administration, and religious importance. Many events described in the Mahabharata are connected to this city. It is also from Dwarka that Krishna is believed to have guided the Pandavas during some of the most important moments leading to the Kurukshetra war. However, every civilization eventually faces change. According to the Mausala Parva of the Mahabharata, after the Great War, internal conflicts began among the Yadava clan. These conflicts eventually led to the destruction of the dynasty. Soon after, Krishna's earthly life came to an end. Then comes one of the most remarkable descriptions found in ancient Indian literature. The Mahabharata states that after Krishna departed, the sea slowly advanced and submerged Dwarka. The magnificent city disappeared beneath the waters. Only memories remained. For centuries, many people accepted this simply as a part of sacred story. Others wondered whether there could have been a historical event behind it. Could rising sea levels, coastal erosion, or natural geological changes have inspired these descriptions? For a long time, there was no clear answer. Then, during the 20th century, something changed. Scientists decided to investigate the sea itself. Marine archaeology is a specialized field that studies human history beneath rivers, lakes, and oceans. Instead of digging on land, archaeologists explore underwater landscapes using divers, sonar technology, photography, mapping equipment, and carefully planned excavations. India began developing underwater archaeology in the later decades of the 20th century. One of the most well known names associated with the search for ancient Dwarka is archaeologist Dr. S. R. Rao. He had already contributed significantly to the study of the Indus Valley civilization before becoming involved in marine archaeological research. During the 1980s and later years, teams conducted underwater explorations near the modern city of Dwarka and nearby Bet Dwarka along the Gujarat coast. These expeditions were carried out with support from institutions including the National Institute of Oceanography and the Archaeological Survey of India. The work was not easy. Visibility underwater was often poor. Strong currents made diving difficult. Sand constantly shifted across the seabed. Every survey required patience. Every object had to be carefully documented before any conclusion could be made. Over several expeditions, researchers reported finding stone blocks that appeared to have been shaped by humans. They also documented large stone anchors. Some of these anchors resemble those used in ancient maritime trade. Structures interpreted as possible walls, platforms, and jetty like formations were also recorded. Pottery fragments, stone artifacts, and other archaeological materials were recovered from nearby areas. These discoveries immediately attracted international attention. For many people, they seemed to support the ancient stories of Dwarka. However, archaeology is a science, and science depends on evidence that can be tested. Finding ancient objects underwater does not automatically prove that they belong to the city described in the Mahabharata. Researchers must determine their age, their original location, their cultural context, and whether they remained in the same place over thousands of years. That process is often very complicated. Unlike archaeological sites on land, underwater environments constantly change. Ocean currents move sediments, storms shift heavy stones, sea levels rise and fall over long periods. Some objects may no longer be in their original position. Because of these challenges, archaeologists remain careful when interpreting underwater discoveries. Many researchers agree that the Gujarat coast preserves evidence of ancient coastal settlements and maritime activity. That conclusion is supported by multiple archaeological studies. However, whether these remains can be identified with certainty as Krishna's Dwarka described in the Mahabharata is still debated within the academic community. Some scholars believe that evidence is promising. Others argue that more excavation, dating, and analysis are still needed. This differences of opinion is completely normal in archaeology. Scientific understanding develops gradually. New discoveries often raise new questions instead of providing immediate answers. Another important topic is sea level change. Geologists know that coastlines do not remain the same forever. Across thousands of years, ocean naturally advance and retreat. Earthquakes, tectonic movements, climate change, sediment deposition, and coastal erosion all influence the shape of the coastline. Many ancient ports around the world now lie partially underwater. Others are located far inland because shorelines have shifted over time. So, the idea that an ancient coastal settlement could have experienced flooding is scientifically possible. But connecting a specific geological event to a specific historical narrative requires strong evidence. That evidence is still being studied. Today, modern technology continues to improve underwater research. Researchers use side scan sonar to map the seabed. Satellite positioning systems help create accurate maps. Digital imaging allows archaeologists to document sites in greater detail than ever before. Each expedition adds another small piece to a much larger puzzle. Whether that puzzle will one day fully explain the story of Dwarka remains unknown. And perhaps that is what makes this subject so fascinating. It brings together history, archaeology, geology, ancient literature, maritime trade, and one of the world's oldest living traditions. For millions of people, Dwarka is a sacred place connected to Lord Krishna. For historians, it is an important part of India's cultural heritage. For archaeologists, it is an ongoing research project that continues to inspire new discoveries. These different perspectives do not necessarily have to compete with each other. They simply ask different kinds of questions. Faith asks about meaning, history asks about records, archaeology asks about evidence. Each contributes something valuable to our understanding of the past. Perhaps the true significance of Dwaraka is not only whether every detail can be proven, perhaps its greatest value lies in how it continues to inspire people to learn more about history, culture, and the civilization that existed along India's western coast thousands of years ago. Even today, the waters of the Arabian Sea continues to guard many secrets. Some may eventually be discovered, others may remain hidden forever. And this is what makes archaeology such an interesting, exciting journey. Every expedition begins with question, not answers. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this exploration into the mystery of Dwaraka. If you found this documentary informative, please consider liking this video, sharing it with others who enjoy history and archaeology, and subscribing to the channel for more well-researched documentaries. I will see you in the next video. Until then, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep learning. Thank you.